the way this works is every single week I sit down with these two chuckleheads and we're joined by a guest. And we usually talk about all manner of Assassin's Creed related crap. I am Aftermath1231. This chucklehead is Ares.
Hi, here I am.
And this chucklehead is McCrackenway. And our very handsome guest this week is NeoNugget.
Hi, guys.
Great to have you here, Neo.
Oh, yes.
Before we get started real quick, I just want to ask every single person that's listening to this, once and for all, do you or do you not want me to include timestamps in the description? Or do you not care? Because it's a little bit more extra work, but if enough people want it, then I will do it. But it's been very mixed about whether they want it or not. So, if you want it, let me know. If you don't want it, let me know. If you don't care, let me know. This is the Helix podcast. What have you guys been doing this week? This week, I've been browsing around on, and I wanted to let everyone know about this really great subreddit, which was a default for a time. It's called Listen to This. And it's basically one of the best music subreddits, and basically it's for smaller bands, artists, songs, and that you may not have heard of. I actually found like 3 or 4 really great songs this week, and I've just been listening to them pretty much on repeat, and I've really been enjoying it. You guys do anything interesting this week? You want to talk
about? Not really. I mean, I saved Christmas in the Saints Row 4, but that's about it.
I've been working on various projects and things. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking to Neo about various things related to his time everywhere. Then we're going to talk about the recently revealed special edition cover. Then we're going to talk a bit about Coring May. And then we're going to talk about our weekly discussion thread, which is future possible settings. Let's get started. So, Neo, could you tell us a bit about how you got into the AC games from the beginning? That's usually how we start with these.
Right. Okay, so I've been playing since the very beginning. Like, I pre-ordered everything, saw the E3 trailers, all that good stuff. So I've been around since the start. AC1, pretty good stuff. Super hyped for it, even before it came out, and we knew about all the Animus stuff. Just like Altair, he was the best. So, I mean, how could you not be excited about Altair?
Yeah. Okay. And, so how'd you hear of the games to the beginning? Did you just see an ad somewhere?
Oh, I watched E3 a lot, like when it was on G4, and I probably just saw it on there.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
you've been we don't often talk to people who have been fans from the very, very beginning.
Yeah. Nope. Very, very beginning.
Nice.
Yes.
So you've been with the series from the beginning. When did you start becoming more of the part of the online community?
It was probably maybe 5 months after Black Flag launched. So it kind of like post Black Flag, pre-Unity phase, something like that. And I usually just that's when I started using Reddit a lot. Because I used to check out the forums just on occasion, usually after I beat a game, so I could hear what people thought about it, because I was usually really confused. So yeah, I got on Reddit during that time, and I just like the interaction. Like, I like to be able to talk to someone instead of just like thinking about Assassin's Creed all the time. I could just have a discussion, and that was really fun. I like to see different viewpoints on things. So
fair enough. So you're mainly on Reddit at reddit.com/u/NeoNugget, and you're also on Twitter at twitter.com/NeoNugget. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Sweet.
Very, very original name.
Oh yeah.
Very proud of it. Oh yeah.
It's great. Now we have a question from Talking Sandwich himself, and he would like to know, welcome to the Helix podcast, how dank are you?
Oh, very, but probably not enough for you.
First news this week is we saw a brand new special edition cover version of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Little warning, if we get into discussion, we may get a little sweary, and by a little, I mean a lot.
And we'll also maybe be shouting at some point, so just, like,
Probably
be warned.
I'll get discussion started off with this. Now, Ubisoft, your art department, what the fuck are they doing? The special edition cover is the worst cover I've seen for an Assassin's Creed game. It looks like crap. It's worse than the normal one for a few different reasons. And the normal one's pretty bad for an Assassin's Creed game anyway. Like, Ares, you may have noticed a few things, like the horrible little, the picture should be up if you're watching on YouTube now.
Yep,
There's that little London symbol down at the bottom. You got exclusive content plastered all over it. If you're using
Hey,
the
nothing
PlayStation
says buy this on PlayStation like some shapes at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. And you've got the 4 rooks at the back. Evie is literally nowhere. And
Bald guy, though, is making his appearance, though, fifth time.
If he's not an actual character, he's just some nameless guy, I'm going to be pissed. And then we have Jacob in the center who's sniffing his blade like Chisra.
It's like, this is a knife? Holy shit, that's so cool.
Then goes to smell his sword.
No, let's not start there.
Let's
not start there.
If you will notice in this cover, Jacob has no legs. His lower body is literally the London skyline,
of course,
which sounds extremely painful. Also, you will notice that this cover is absolute shit, as we established, but it suffers from a case of Arkham City syndrome, where it's like Game of the Year edition, let's put a bunch of bullshit text over this originally pretty cool looking cover. So let's run down everything we have. We have the banner, PS4, that's okay. We have exclusive content with the Dreadful Crimes. Then we have Peggy DiCiotto, which is always there, Peggy 18. Ubisoft, exclusive content, special edition. That's like 6 too many things there. Like, we want the banner and the title and maybe the Ubisoft logo in the corner. And that's all you get. You can't do more. Otherwise, you don't have a cover. You just have a bunch of bullshit text on the screen.
Yeah. There are either...
Like Unity.
Of course. There's basically the 2 things that you want from a cover. You either want it to be some kind of arty work of art, like the Resistance 3 cover, which is
or the Bioshock alternate cover for Infinite, which is really neat.
Mm-hmm. When you turn them around.
Yeah, I love those.
There's not very many games that do them. The only ones I can think of are Bioshock Infinite, which I actually got the digital version of. And then like Skyrim and Dishonored, I think also did that.
The Last of Us has a really sexy one.
Yeah. Yep. That's a fact.
Or Skyrim's is pretty great.
You want a cover that actually showcases what the game's about. And
so Exhibit A, where the fuck is Evie?
Yeah, I don't either. Either she's actually they're bullshitting us when they tell us that she's supposed to be like a main character, or she's pretty much
10 minutes of screen time.
It really doesn't. I mean, like. Even the 75-25% split thing, but you can, it really just sounds almost like you can just switch skins in the open world and just do that. It's going to be, I don't know, it'll probably like, I'm trying to think, it might be vaguely like, it might be vaguely like if you could like switch to hate them in Assassin's Creed 3's open world. Like, you only played this much of the game with him, but you can now...
There's this inconsistency in the marketing, and we talked about this a lot before.
Yeah, it's silly.
I don't think we need to go over it again, but like, I don't know what you're doing, trying to tell us that Evie's a main character and she's not on any of the promotional material. Like, we know that she's going to be playable at Gamescom, which is a fucking about time, I think.
Seriously, agreed.
But
Even Altair was on the cover of Revelations and like and he like his missions were so short. Like
he probably got an hour of screen time total.
Yeah.
And then only if you took really long on the missions.
Yeah, only if you were absolute shit at playing them. But here's the thing: like, what the fuck has been up with Ubisoft's PR since basically Unity? Because I feel like a lot of us in the community have been kind of like cocking our heads confusedly and asking, why did they decide to explain it like that? Or why the hell did they decide to do this with regards to PR? Because with Unity, we had all the problems that I'm not going to talk about now. But with this year, with Syndicate, we have all the stuff with Eevee, this dreadful cover, and just all these other little wacky things that seem like, why did you think it was a good idea to do that?
I'm going to say I don't think it's just Ubisoft right now. Like, after... Basically, since then, there have just been a lot of really silly PR things. The one that I think is funniest, personally, is, like, you know, at E3, they talked about a lot of cool content for new players on Destiny. And then they're like, but don't worry, old players, we're going to give you some cool stuff, too. We're going to talk about it on Thursday. And then on Thursday, they revealed this promotion with Red Bull, and it's like, this is... what? Like... If you're an old player, you can buy Red Bull, and that might...
like, this cover, I'd already had lots of reason to not fork up for a different edition, but this has given me even more reason to just get the standard edition. I want the game to... I play these games for the games. I don't play them for the statues. I don't play them for the art books. I don't play them for some splashy, ugly collectible cover. I play them for the games, so this year I'm only getting the game.
So you think this is part of the collector's edition?
It could be. There's usually a hard, like a steel case for most of them, but it could be for some of the collector's editions.
I mean, there's not...
know, but it might be standalone for the special edition.
There's not... Is there any different, like, game content in there? Is that, like...
Well, you get the Dreadful Crimes missions exclusively for PlayStation 4.
Which we get anyway, right?
Right there.
If
you're looking at the cover, right underneath the Syndicate, it's a special edition. And so this one comes with the Darwin and Dickens missions.
So it's basically like the pre-order copy?
It's the pre-order.
So basically, I think the way it works is if you pre-order this is the edition you get. That's how it's worked since, as long as I can remember, ACR at least, even before, I think.
Sadly, that's
because ACR had the weird one where the cover was black and white for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was the signature
That was the
edition.
GameStop. Yeah,
a signature edition, right?
You got like some special pack.
Yeah,
I think it came with like the Vlad Impaler stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
That was kind of cool because they at least gave the Vlad the Impaler sword like different animations, which was kind of fun.
Did any of you guys ever get like physical editions of games ever? Because I got one. I got the Desmond edition of AC3 from UB Workshop, which came with the comics and
I got
box and
I just got the straight up collector's edition of AC3, mostly because. Mostly because it was number 3, so I was expecting it to be this big, huge, awesome game, which it is to some extent.
It was all right. It's pretty good.
And also because the protagonist shares my first name mostly, so I was like, that
one pesky end.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for like the reception of Unity and stuff, and actually like, I realized after getting that collector's edition, I was like, this is not. I wish there was more game content in this. This was not as fun. Like, collector's edition for Mass Effect 3 had a bunch of in-game content, which was great. And I don't know, like, I mean, I'd probably get the collector's edition again just because London, but at the same time, I'm not going to because it's just not. Things are not looking so great after Unity and with the current state of the franchise.
I don't usually get collector's editions for games, but I got the collector's edition for Unity and AC4, and I got the Join or Die edition for AC3.
Did you join or did you die?
I joined.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for asking.
That speech isn't even in the game.
Oh, yeah?
That
was in Rogue.
That speech is in Rogue.
It was in Rogue instead.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, I got the Join or Die edition since it was the only one that was available in New Zealand. Which was fun, so I didn't get a statue that time.
I actually got the AC1 Collector's Edition when it came out.
OG.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was actually only $20 more, so it wasn't bad. So which is why I sprung for it. But it was, I thought it was so lame. Like it didn't. It came with a tin, a huge tin box, not a steelbook. Like a few inch tall Altair figure, not a statue or any of this fancy stuff. A little maybe 10-page comic, and like maybe one other thing, and I thought it was so lame. I mean, I love the game. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing in the collector's edition. I'm pretty sure I lost everything.
Yeah.
Stuffed in my closet. And I did not get a single collector's edition. I didn't get the one for 2, Brotherhood, Revelations 3, 4, Unity. No. Like, they just... I usually get the game, and then I get miscellaneous stuff. Like, I have this Play Arts Kai Connor, and then this Altair statue. So I usually like to make my own collector's edition.
That's probably the smarter way.
I make my own collector's
if any of the collector's edition came with like UB Workshop clothing, like the jackets or anything, for not as much extra cost as the jackets themselves, then maybe that would be cool. But
yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know, like the statues are kind of cool. Like I kind of like the Connor statue, but at the same time, I was like, I feel like this is mostly just something to look at.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the Assassin Colonial flag that came with it.
Yeah,
but I just like hung that over the balcony. It's like a piece of it's an aesthetic home piece, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than like, ooh, cool thing. Like Washington's Journal was not that interesting.
Oh,
I'm kind of miffed because I always wanted to get the codex from I think it was like AC
that's what I was
Brotherhood. Maybe I always wanted to buy that.
I've been looking for it. Like, I swear, I've been trying to find it, but I can't. It bothers me so much. 'Cause that was cool.
Yeah, the physical content is usually pretty cool for the hardcore fans with these games. Like, I have the statues sitting on my shelf on my bedside table, and I have a AC4 poster. But there's one thing I think we can all agree is usually quite crap, and that's usually all of the in-game missions. Like, let's go with Unity's.
Oh, absolute shit.
Like, Unity's was the worst thing.
Let's take it from the top. What was the first game to have exclusive missions? I think that was Brotherhood, which was the Copernicus conspiracy.
No, it was
actually on most accounts pretty good.
I think it was.
Well, okay, not
AC2
missions, but AC2 had weapons.
Weapons. Let's not count that.
I'll be honest. There's also a thing. There's actually a thing that I really like in my PlayStation 3 version of AC2. Before I ever played an Assassin's Creed game on the console, I first got the mobile edition of Assassin's Creed 2 for like the shitty phones, like not a smartphone. It was like your
those. Yeah, I remember that.
Like
oh
Game
my
Loft
god.
or something.
it had like a juke, which is thin screen that's like impossible to see anything on. So I played that. There was a code that came with that. So when I eventually got AC2, I put in that code and I got I mean, it's like, you know, it's like a Verizon Wireless skin, but it's like if you took like the Wetlands Ebony thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like black and red, but the sleeves are white, and I kind of liked that a lot.
Is it called the bonus skin?
Yeah, it's just called the bonus skin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have that.
Actually sounds really cool.
I actually like it. But, so that piece of exclusive content was worth it. But apart from that, I feel like I know the Copernicus missions were really good, and so they kind of like set a high bar, and then everything since then has been like,
AC2
Revelations
also had
had what?
AC2 also had the Altair outfit if you played AC1.
Wasn't that you play?
Yeah.
That was. I guess we can say in terms of in-game extra stuff, there was the Montergione crypt with Dante Alighieri, which was kind of neat, but that doesn't really count as one of like the console exclusive missions.
Yeah,
there's always been the Uplay crap, and Brotherhood freaked out on that. There was a ton of Uplay crap in there with all the different skins.
What was there in ACR? Because AC3 had the AC3.
I don't think there was anything for ACR.
Had the
ACR came
those
with
were kind of uninspired.
It came with a copy of AC1.
Oh yeah, that was.
Was that PS3 exclusive?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh,
well, that's a pretty good deal.
That's the only reason I have AC1, because I like rented it the very first time I played it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it for like $20 right after I played AC2 because I just wanted more of the same gameplay.
Yeah. So ACR had that. That's a pretty big one, I think. Getting AC1.
That's probably worth it, but like, I don't know. The more games they put out, and like for us fans, it's like, that's cool, but I already own, like Assassin's Creed Rogue or whatever they decide if they ever do that again.
Yeah. And then with AC3, we had the Benedict Arnold missions,
which were very
They were,
They didn't even get to kill him.
Well, no, because
he didn't die.
Well, he
survived.
Actually, I think the reason the Benedict Arnold mission made AC3 story worse is because we talked about this on an earlier episode of the podcast with George Washington, where Connor's like, "I'm never helping you again,"
'cause you can
and it's
access-
before he finds out about the village. So all the players are like, "What the fuck are
can
you on
access
about, Connor?"
Or when you first get to New
Yeah,
York, it's like
the
long
pacing
before-
is fucked.
Yeah, so I did that and then like immediately quit out. Like as soon as I heard that,
Nope.
so that ruined the twist for me a little bit. But I was like, I'm not gonna play that yet.
And then Liberation was exclusive to PS Vita.
Get off like the other thing. I think it's what I think is pretty funny is that that's like the only appearance of Benedict Arnold in the main game. And then if you play Tyranny of King Washington, so he's like this main villain, and like Connor's saying this stuff like, what you did in West Point was, this awful thing, and probably most players were like, what?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, so Liberation was exclusive to PS Vita. I don't think the console edition had anything exclusive in it.
It has some DLC, a couple things, a hat and a sword. I think pretty nice, but
And
not.
then,
Assassin's Creed Team Fortress 2.
I didn't even figure out if you could do the because the Vita mission had like this mission. If you connected it, you could play from Connor's perspective. I never figured out if you could do that with HD.
No, you can. Yeah,
You can.
It's as soon as you play the mission as Aveline, then you go back in the DNA menu, and then you can play as Connor, which you sometimes need to do if you're going for the trophy. But
I don't think you do
weird.
because I got all the trophies and never played that mission.
and then,
it's a little weird.
and then in AC4 we have a slightly massive one, which is the Aveline mission.
Yeah.
which was also very confusing. I guess I didn't play Liberation, so
Yeah,
I'm like, what
it's
the
a
fuck
bit-
is going on?
I played it after I played that thing. I played Liberation, because Liberation HD came out like January after AC4 released, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was after I'd already played the Aveline DLC in AC4. So that I don't know. I don't think that it makes any more sense having played Liberation just because it's trying to be like a single contained story, and it's like, these characters might be interesting if they were here for longer, but I don't know. Like the main villain of that DLC is like a reskin of a multiplayer character, I think.
Isn't it the same guy? Because I know they do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the Doctor. Or
that
something.
was, yeah,
Which is cool. I never really realized that.
yeah. I mean,
There's not really any connection between that and Liberation, except for now Aveline knows Connor, and he's writing to have her recruit patients. That's it.
yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know. That's something that kind of disappeared. Is like they used to do a bunch of missions where you'd hunt down the multiplayer characters. Those are
Yeah, I
that was
like
in
those.
Brotherhood.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, they sort of felt kind of cheap because they were all one-offs, and they used the same models.
Yeah.
The model slips didn't move or anything. I actually found those characters more interesting in like the that Facebook game where they went into the backstories more.
Project Legacy?
Project Legacy, yeah.
Yeah.
But the missions, the games, like I'm mixed about them because they're cool, but they also feel like they're just kind of thrown out there.
The thing about Avalines is that it also clued into what Connor was doing after AC3, which was also then tied into Initiates, because that had some info about what he was doing after AC3 as well. And so that was actually kind of fun for the fans. So it was kind of a big thing. I think that a lot of people on Xbox consoles were annoyed that they didn't ever get that. Well, we should mention that PC has always gotten the PS exclusive stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was... And then there was a whole massive pre-order crap in AC4 as well. Like different missions, and none of them were really that good.
Yeah, and the same thing happened with Rogue. Is like the extra missions were really just go to this place and grab some stuff and then leave that place.
Yeah,
It's not like contained with. It's like a different map, so you have to load out of it. You can't fast travel out of it either. You have to go back to your ship and leave. The outfits were kind of cool, I guess. Like if you were really into the pirate stuff, like there's a really flamboyant red pirate coat with a feathered hat.
the Morgan.
Yeah,
The Morgan, like the rum.
Actually, I got I pre-ordered through Amazon, so I got the I think it's
Siege
called
mission?
No,
Or
I think it's called the Mystery Island DLC
Oh.
or something. But it had Steve Bonnet's gear, which I really liked.
Oh yeah, the 3 islands were really neat.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I liked the gear. I didn't like the missions themselves.
One thing I liked about the mission is that there's a really neat detail where you have to climb under this rock to get to the inside of the island. And from the outside, it looks like there are these 3 British guards posted, but if you go inside, they're all scarecrows, which I thought was a very Steed thing to do.
That got my hopes up, like right at the beginning, and then it fell apart because I was like, "Ooh, a cool contained story mission," but nope, that was not what it was.
And then Rogue didn't have any.
I think it did the same. No, not PS exclusive.
No.
But it had the pre-order crap as well.
Yeah.
And that was then released later on as a standalone DLC, which is the only DLC we've got for Rogue. But that's
what was the DLC?
Day. It was the pre-order crap.
Siege of Fort de Sable.
Yeah, that's it. And it didn't have any relation to Robert, did it?
Yeah, nor does it have any
I never played
sieges.
that. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't too great. And then we have Unity, which was a big mess of pre-order and PS and... Oh, God.
Yeah, and we didn't get any exclusives because it was partnered with Xbox.
Yeah,
for
that one. But there was just... that.
I don't think there was...
They made up for that with the massive pre-order missions that none of them were really that good.
No. They were all basically just like a Paris story.
Yeah. Oh.
And they were
not even
basically the same quality as, some of the worst Paris stories.
Yeah.
Which I had a rant about on the subreddit this week, but yeah.
Yeah, so they were real bad, and they were like, they always hyped them up as being something bigger than they are, and then they're like, 5-10 minutes? They always say they're like an hour long or an hour and a half, and like, Eveline's was 45 minutes max, and these were like 15 minutes.
Or an hour if you play them one-handed, upside-down, blindfolded.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm okay with like 45-minute exclusives or day one DLC. Like, Aveline was pretty decent. It was, a nice thing to do off the side. But, like, there still has to be, like, effort in it, which there has not always been, which is really sad.
Yeah, it's just basically cut content, and they then just throw it in because Sony wants to be able to say that they have some kind of exclusive crap. Mm-hmm. And then, then that brings us to Syndicate and its mess. With the exclusive Dreadful Crimes, which are supposed to be like murder mysteries. And there's 10 of them.
Yeah.
So that seems like too big of a thing to just not let Xbox users have.
Yeah. So is this confirmed that it's going to be exclusive forever to PlayStation?
No, I think it
usually is.
It usually is.
Okay.
I think that's timed.
So I think that if it's only timed, there's a chance it'll be like halfway substantial.
It could do. Yeah, you're right. It could be a 6 months to a year timed. No one will be playing it by then, but yeah, it could do.
Well, some people might be, but I mean,
there are dozens of us, literally dozens of us, who are still playing Unity.
If it's Unity, then
no, but it's not even a year since Unity, though. If it's a year since Syndicate, people are going to be on the next one. No one's going to be just running around randomly. At least, unless you're going back and playing it through it again, things like that. But no one's just playing it just to play it. You're playing the next game.
Hop on to Syndicate today.
Yeah, it's like...
I'd do that, but...
Run around. Unless Syndicate's really, really good, like Black Flag, that's just tons of fun just to run around randomly.
Yeah.
Like, I played...
If it's like AC4, then I think it's going to be set for a while.
Randomly, but not do anything else.
And then... So then we also have the Darwin and Dickens missions, which are exclusive pre-order.
Which will be about 2 minutes long a piece, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're probably going to be like...
I guess.
Exactly like, like the Chemical Revolution mission.
Gold.
Yeah. The thing I like about
the other thing, where Chemical Revolution had an awesome title and a shitty mission. Maybe it has a shitty title and it's an awesome mission, but who knows?
I think someone said that the theory behind the Darwin portion of it is that in his workings of natural selection, evolution, and whatnot, he discovers some first civilization connection. The Templars are trying to silence him. I think that'd be a cool premise. The mission will probably suck, but I think the idea will still be neat.
It would be kind of cool, just like because. I guess, scientists, but to do it similarly to the Copernicus missions, where it's all about, working with this person for an extended period of time.
It was like a whole memory sequence, though. That's why it was great.
It was a sequence.
And that reminds me. We forgot to mention that the Dreadful Crimes actually also have Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in them.
Mm-hmm. As a 9-year-old, right?
As a 9-year-old, yeah. I don't know how they're going to work that in there, but...
Well, that's what the Paris stories were, too, is... I mean, not the Parastories, the murder mysteries in Unity, they had Vidocq as a little kid sitting in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Who like talks at the beginning and then sometimes talks for the rest of the game, but is not notable.
There's also another, probably the coolest sounding pre-order content mission, which is only in the collectors and things like that, is the Runaway Train mission. Did you guys hear about that?
I did not.
Yeah,
I didn't.
This was part of Wayne Davies' special edition whatnot rundown.
Okay.
He talked about how the setup for this mission is there's a train in London that's going crazy, like in the movie Speed, and you have to go along the train and do stuff to stop it before it runs out of time and or track and ends up running into the city, kind of like in Avengers. The reason I think this might actually fall flat is because I feel like you're just going to be running around from part of the train to part of the train, pushing a button to do some animation to like fix some valve, and then running to the next part of the train. So I don't know how substantive it can really be with the Assassin's Creed mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not expecting much. But I guess I'm going to get the Dreadful Crimes anyway, so I can tell you about them. But
I think it
hopefully,
depends on how fast you can move your character around it. Because if you can move your character sufficiently fast, then you might be able to go, take a shortcut over some buildings to catch it up at a junction or whatever. But
could do.
Yeah, true.
but yeah, that sounds interesting, but not enough definitely for me to grab the collector's edition because it'll come out as a
Season pass,
DLC
right?
later.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, our big news of the week. The other thing was little news. This is big news. We have Corey May, lead scriptwriter of Assassin's Creed on the project since AC1, also wrote AC2, is leaving Ubisoft as of July 22nd, which from the time of recording is 2 days ago, so Wednesday, and joins Certain Affinity, which is another company that sort of works on video games and sort of does their own stuff. So we have had a huge shakedown in the past couple years of Assassin's Creed people. Jade Raymond has left to go to EA in the past couple of weeks. Corey May is now gone. So he says that this is not because I hated Ubisoft or anything about them. He wanted to take this opportunity because it was a unique project. So I think there are a lot of fears that like, oh no, Corey's left, the original team is all gone. The band's broken up and Assassin's Creed is going to be shit from now on. I don't really see it that way, and I don't think anyone else should either. I'll turn it over to you guys in a second. But he had very good comments about everything working on Ubisoft, and he said they're in very capable hands. I know who a few of those hands are. I think we can all take a couple guesses. But it seems like not all is gone to shit just because Corey is left.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I mean,
I like Darby's hands.
I'd like to point out that Certain Affinity's website right now has a blurb that comes up that says, "Achievement unlocked, hired a narrative director."
Nice. That's cute.
So yeah, there are two ways that everyone's looking at this, and there's one that's far more predominant from what I've seen, and that's we're currently in the Assassin's Creed plane, and now that our pilot has jumped out, everyone's going down the same way. And then there's the other one.
Anybody who can fly a plane.
Yeah, that's apparently what Ubisoft is asking right now. But there's one that a lot of people, including myself, see. And I think we'll just have to wait and see. Is that maybe we're going to have some new hands on this? Maybe we're going to have a bit of a breath of fresh air blown into the franchise and get a new take, because the franchise hasn't been doing too great recently. And Corey May actually wrote on AC3 as well as AC2. And a lot of people agree that AC3 is one of the worst games in the series, mainly because of how, not the story, I've talked about this before, but the story is good, it's just that the story was handled badly.
Yeah, the pacing along with gameplay is weird.
Oh, yeah.
So, want to be an assassin? Wait 6 hours.
So, basically, it's sad that he's gone, and I wish him the best, and at Certain Affinity, and Certain Affinity is going to be doing these new things. They've been, apparently, recently, basically all they've done is basically helped out bigger publishers work on multiplayer games.
Yeah, that's what all their credits are, is like, they have 3 different map packs for Halo 4, they worked on Halo Waypoint, and they have a game called Age of Booty, and there's also Age of Booty Tactics.
And so apparently they're now trying to shift position to make their own games, which is what Corey May said to do.
They also worked on the Master Chief Collection, which
okay, that's great.
you know.
Yeah. So I wish Corey all the best, but I think that everyone needs to slow down a little bit and wait and see. See in 2 years, 3 years' time, if Corey May leaving was the worst thing that could have possibly happened to the franchise, or one of the best.
I mean, one of the things, like, so he's like the narrative director. He's not sitting down to like individually write every game.
Yeah.
In the first place,
and that's a lot. I mean,
I mean, Darby tweeted a couple months ago that they just like sat down and like hashed out a bunch of first Civ
centuries worth of first Civ history.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, so I feel like if you think of that, it's probably like, you know, he did a big job. He was like, okay, this is probably safe without me, and then he left because, you know, probably. I mean, he's been working here for like, it's almost 10 years since the original Assassin's Creed was released, and production was, of course, longer than that in the past. So he's probably just like, it'd be nice to do something different.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a my work here is done moment.
Yeah.
And you can tell that from what he said in his press release. A lot of people are thinking that he writes games. He doesn't. I don't think many of the games he's been a lead writer on, and he doesn't write them. He's a narrative director, which is very different. He explains it in this GameFold article that he basically he believes that mission type, mission structure, open world structure, all of that needs to cooperate and integrate with the story itself, and he's in charge of doing that. In charge of basically making sure that everything besides the story works with the story. And so a lot of people will think that maybe he jumped ship from Syndicate, because we know he was the narrative director on that, and things like that, but maybe he just has the rough outline done of Syndicate, and the rest of it's just everyone else is just making it work.
I mean, the thing is, Syndicate's pretty much done. Like, him leaving now doesn't matter at all, because the story's really completely written, everything is sorted.
It's really just sorting out, you know, refining the gameplay, making sure all the assets go together.
And he left on the best of terms, from what we can tell, unless he's bullshitting us, which I doubt he would do.
No.
But he...
Just like Jade.
Yeah, they left on good terms. It's just basically... The only member of the original team that didn't leave on good terms was Patrice, over and over again. But, yeah, this doesn't seem like some big drama, thing. I think that he's probably talked to the people that would take over and told them what they think, and he's clearly believes that it's in good hands. I'm not too worried.
Now,
I mean, the last thing that on the article is on the state of Assassin's Creed, and he's very much like, there's no problems, we're fine. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I was just saying, didn't he write one of the Batman games? Like, I thought, honestly, I thought he left a long time ago.
Yeah, he wrote Origins. Arkham Origins, and that's easily the worst Arkham game.
Well, I mean, it's because it wasn't done by Rocksteady. Yeah, so, I mean,
even the story was crap.
The voice actors were good, though, even though they weren't the same ones.
Yeah, I mean, good. Troy Baker and Roger Craig Smith, you can't argue with that.
Yeah. Outside of AC, I don't know what he's done well. And I'm not trying to shit talk the guy or anything like that.
Who's this clown?
He's done a lot of good stuff for AC, and he's done a lot of good stuff as part of Ubisoft, but I don't see this as the massive hit that some people are seeing. And I think that we're going to learn in the next few years whether it was or not.
So, to do a little bit of self-plugging here, on the topic of the capable hands Ubisoft is left in, among the other writers that work for Ubisoft, we have Jeffrey O'Hallam, Darby McDevitt, and a couple others. Speaking of that guy, Darby McDevitt, pretty cool dude, I think, as we all agree. If you've been on Twitter the past couple days...
Right.
He's nice. He's cool. Yeah. I managed to finagle my way into getting an interview with him for the podcast in 2 weeks. When I'm in Montreal 2 weeks from now. So I will be sure to ask him about Corey May leaving and all sorts of other stuff. But yes, that is something that'll be fun and exciting. Get hyped.
So our next topic is one that comes up all the time. Like, it probably shows up almost every single day. It's somewhere, and it is, where is Assassin's Creed going to go next? Or where would you like Assassin's Creed to go next? Or where would you not like Assassin's Creed to go next? There's lots of variations. We're just
name places on Earth.
Yeah, I think we're gonna name anything that is real, and name a general set of years, and you're good. But I think we're going to mostly talk about it in the positive aspect. We're not going to talk about it in the negative aspect. So, I mean, anybody else have I have lots. Does anybody else like to start, though?
Well,
yeah.
I was, like, I play through the games a lot. Like, usually twice a year. This year it's just once, though. But there's a lot of hints in the games, like that reference future settings and scenarios and all that. And like I've come up with a little list, like just because it happens quite often. Like we found out where the Grand Temple was in Brotherhood.
Brotherhood, yeah.
Yeah, and there was the Masonic Eye and the Phrygian Cap. And then there's just a whole bunch of other things. Like Abstergo Entertainment was mentioned in the Lost Archive. So personally, I think we are going to Egypt. That's what I'm banking on. Egypt sometime soon. There's just too many hints.
They definitely seem to lay pretty heavy on Egypt in Unity.
Yeah, and then like you have the Ankh, which is mentioned in Rogue.
It's also, it's mentioned in Rogue, which is I think the first time it's showed up in a game, but it actually came out of the French comics and is one of the few. It's part of the half of the comics that is canon. So
far,
yeah.
With
do you think they're going Napoleonic Wars Egypt, or where do you think they're going in Egypt?
Well, I think we will see some Napoleon in Egypt, mostly because I feel like Napoleon and Arno's relationship is underdeveloped purposefully, like not just left off, but I feel like we have like 8 years in between the end of Dead Kings and the epilogue in Unity, which there's just, I feel like so much happened. It just doesn't quite piece together yet.
Yeah.
So, not to mention Egypt is mentioned so many times in Dead Kings.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that just because, especially recently, I've been espousing the values of having protagonists in multiple games rather than just one, as we've been having.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of tempered a lot of my, like, as recently as, last year, I would have wildly been like, ooh, this place, and 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 this place.
Right.
But as, like, one of the things that people talk about, especially as Unity, is like probably one of the weakest parts is the story. And like with that kind of clause, suddenly to me the story becomes more important. And I think that recurring characters are a very big part of having a, maybe not necessarily just like a compelling story, but a story with characters that you're invested in and you want to come back to see.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time like I think of a setting now, I'm like, well, that would have to go somewhere else first because, we don't have any characters in that time period yet. So that would, I always think like...
here's what you can do is an idea to kind of go with that is you could kind of play it like ACR where you have like, for instance, with Egypt, Arno's hanging out with Napoleon in Egypt and then like, ooh, Helix Rift or whatever. And then you go back in time and then sort of like ACR, you have a dual protagonist vibe and you're playing as some ancient Egyptian dude. Like I think that
you could
could
be
work.
playing as Achilles, or no, that's Rome. Never mind. I do want an Achilles game though.
Yeah, it's El Kakar, I think, is the ancient Egypt guy.
Oh right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, whose name I think literally means like the hawk, but yeah, yeah. So right now I'm kind of like, this idea of mine is definitely not going to happen until probably they finish whatever vaguely connected trilogy they have with Unity and Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. And I don't think it has to necessarily be like, because they went as Aries was saying, they started like Italy with AC2, AC Brotherhood, and then they went off to Istanbul and AC Revelations.
Right.
Though I kind of wish there were more recurring characters in Revelations, but I think it was really awesome to go to another place and tell an entirely different story.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so personally, go on. I've been talking too much.
It's funny you mentioned the trilogy with Unity and Syndicate because, at the beginning of Unity, you have the video, the leaked Project Phoenix or whatever it's called, and it has the 3 pieces of Eden. You have the sword, the Ankh, and an apple.
Huh.
And I'm like, wow, the Sword of Eden, that's really awesome. I haven't seen that since AC2. And then you play the Jacques de Molay, and you have the sword. So I feel like we're going to be seeing the Ankh. But I don't think the Ankh was in the glyphs in AC2, so I'm not really sure what
the Ankh didn't come in until much later.
Right.
Yeah, it was not in the glyphs. There was the staff, the sword, and the apples, but no Ankh.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool because they're the same models.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually kind of interesting if they connect them with pieces of Eden. I hope they do it more than just like, oh, these 3 pieces of Eden are in these 3 games. I hope there's like a connection there. But
like with the
that might be excusable.
The Koh-i-Noor from Brahman, which is supposed to bind all pieces of Eden. And
it's like the One Ring.
Yeah. I really want to know more about that. And it's supposed to be connected with Queen Victoria's crown, or she has a fake one or something.
Yeah, she has a fake one in the Assassin's Creed universe.
So it's like maybe that's the piece of Eden we'll be hunting down in Syndicate. Because I don't think we'll be seeing the Ankh in Syndicate.
We might be seeing the apple though, if that was one of the 3.
Because they said they're chasing a piece of Eden, so it's going to be something.
Both in the modern day and the historical.
Yeah, we might see the Ankh just because they're
like
emphasizing. Yeah, they're kind of they're kind of emphasizing, especially whenever they talk about the Thames. Britain's the center of this huge empire. So there is a lot of foreign stuff coming into London through the Thames, especially. So it's not that could work, honestly.
I think with the Thames though, it fits the idea of UB Quebec has done all the exotic gameplay segments for AC2 and Brotherhood. Like they want to do the missions where you go outside of London and do something. So it makes sense that like McCracken Way, like you said, that you kind of find those kinds of things like from all over the Empire kind of coming back.
I want those exotic missions back.
Then there's the Koh-i-Noor was at least in real life was brought to London to be like Queen Victoria's like headpiece on the crown jewels, and we know that's a fake one, but there are several theories that I've seen that actually think that maybe the real one was brought over at the same time, or the real one was stolen out of that headpiece and replaced with a fake one.
Maybe that's what Henry Green.
Yeah, Henry Green's presence indicates something about that.
Yeah,
because he's
related
I would like to know how
they
Arbaz.
tie those together.
Yeah,
and then Arbaz starts out in a first Civ temple in Chronicles.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. Then the more we talk about like artifacts in the Empire, the more I want like a mission where you have to break into like the British Museum.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Sweet.
That would make the entire game for me. Like that would be immediately like 10 out of 10. This is the best game of all time.
You pull Moriarty and steal the crown jewels.
Yeah. Like in Sherlock.
Yes.
Actually, I also want another Sherlock Holmes movie with RDJ as well.
Sherlock Holmes movie with Jacob Fry.
So you're definitely thinking Egypt as the next place to go. I would like that a lot. I do think
the great thing about Egypt is you can go anywhere in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the cool thing about Constantinople is you could dip over to Masyaf for a little bit. That was kind of fun.
And I want pyramids, because we got pyramids in the AC3 DLC with George Washington's, and that was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
George Washington.
It was a trapezoid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pyramid.
Is it not?
It's a pyramid.
It wasn't a full.
Is it?
No, it was flat at the top.
It's based off the pyramid on the dollar bill. That's got the capstone.
And with the Eye of Providence on top.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
all
makes
that
sense. I feel stupid.
Freemason conspiracy stuff.
This has been episode 20 of the Helix Island podcast. I'm Aftermath. That's Aries. That's McCrackenway.
Hello and hello.
This week we were joined by NeoNugget.
Hello.
It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, it was good to be on.
You can find Neo at reddit.com/u/NeoNugget or twitter.com/NeoNugget. Next week, we will be joined by Reddit user Gallic Fryer to talk about all those kinds of things. You can reach us on the Assassin's Creed subreddit, which is assassinscreed.reddit.com or reddit.com/assassin'screed, as well as on Twitter and through our email, animuspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest or would like to send us a question to answer on the show, then you can email us or tweet us or send us a message on Facebook or send us a message on Reddit. We will see you... Oh, wait, shit, almost forgot. Shout-outs to guy who provides music, LWS Rocks, aka Shock Atlas, and also a quick shout-out to the guy who provides art, who's Tyrrell9 on the subreddit. That has been the Helix Island podcast. I will see you next week.